Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new show. Myself and Theon. I just normally you introduce yourself, don't I?
Yeah, use it, but it's a bit awkward.
Yeah.
Usually, and I'm just like Theon. It's just like, well.
Sounds like you're being like arrested for something. What's your name? Theon Lennon. Yeah. So it's a new day, a new week. What's the week of lockdown now?
The week the fifth week.
Fifth week.
I think it's the fifth week.
Fifth week of lockdown, everyone, and as always, we like to bring you a show on a Tuesday, and this one's a little bit different. We get asked quite a few questions on Instagram and Facebook and email, and I just want to cover one of the questions we got asked because I feel like the question that gets asked quite a lot, and what I want to do is get Theon's top tips, my top tips, and hopefully you can take those tips and implement them. At the end of the day, you can read as many books as you want and you can watch as many videos and you can do this and do that. But if you don't implement what the tips are, you're not going to get the results. All right. So knowledge is key, but remember, implementation is king. I just made that up.
Yeah, but that was quite good.
I was quite happy with that.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because you get a lot of people that read books all the time, right?
Yeah.
And they read. But the thing is, they don't actually
take
do
action.
Anything in the book says. So and you just sit there and think to yourself, well, you spent all that time reading that book.
Well, some people like enjoying it, you know, just for the reader. But if you're going to do that, you'd think that they read like storybooks rather than informative stuff.
Yeah, I think people have the intention. I think when, like, for example, like you read like a business book. You're like, oh, I'm going to read a business book, right? And then all of a sudden, what happens is you have all these ideas, but I think there's so many ideas in that one book.
It's hard to kind of implement all of them, isn't it? So you kind of get overwhelmed.
Yeah,
because people don't have no plan, no structure.
And if you just took, I think the problem with it is, this is the big problem with a lot of people when it comes to like fat loss. It's a full overwhelm. Yeah. It's doing so much at once. It's like learning a brand new job and having to learn every single
thing on the first day.
Yeah.
And you're sat there like, probably quit, would you?
Whereas
I probably wouldn't do it properly.
That's what I mean.
Feel nervous.
And then you give up, wouldn't you? So I think it's better to actually learn one thing at a time.
Yeah.
But people want instant results, don't they? So you have to give them everything. Because if you don't give them everything, they don't get results. But then if you give them everything, they get overwhelmed.
They get overwhelmed. So
yeah.
So it's not an easy life.
Right. So the question we got asked, for example, is a lady messaged me and she said she can't understand why she's not losing weight. All right. So she said, just messaged me, hey Luke, I can't understand why I'm not losing weight. So I had a bit of a dialogue with her, a bit of information, and I want to give you our tips on why you might not be losing weight, why your weight might be maintaining, and really what's going on with your body at the moment. Because a lot of people talk about metabolism. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people have this misconception that if they don't eat food, they go into starvation mode.
Yeah.
So if your thing, for example, so if someone's not losing weight, what would be your go-to thing? What would you say that you do with a client?
If they're already signed on and if they've been working with me for a wee while.
Yeah.
I'd probably, the first thing I'd do is get them to just send me their daily activity for a week on average. So, you know, whether it be their steps and their food intake as well. So that for a week or so, and see if they are actually being genuine with it. Because, you know, some people you can say something to someone, but whether or not it's actually true or not, it's so easy to lie nowadays. I could lie to your face right now and tell you something and you wouldn't have the clue. Yeah. People lie all the time. So I think people kid on to themselves that they're doing the walking or they're running or they're doing the calorie counting and just being mindful of what they're eating. But actually sometimes it can be the trainer's fault. I might have not given them the right education and they've got the wrong idea about how much food they should be eating, or the wrong idea about how much activity they're doing. So I'd do that for a week or two and just see on average a lot of averages and just see where they're sitting at in that terms, because they're the two most important things I'd say when it comes to losing weight.
Yeah, and I add into the fact of it definitely wouldn't be something Theon's done wrong, because the plan works, isn't it? The plan works. It's guaranteed. Like, the thing is that what I do or what you do, we go for the same thing, and we know that everybody's followed it.
Yeah.
If you follow it to the letter, it works.
I'm just too nice, and
that's what I mean. Yeah. So when people say, "Oh, it might have been this or it might have been that," and people talk about their metabolism, I'm telling you now, we've had hundreds of people go for our plans, right? And the people, and I'm not saying every single person's got great results, because
people still got results. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's results, but you get the people who probably stick to it and get the great results, don't they?
But again, it's like reading a book. you can give everyone the information. If they don't implement the information,
then
they're not going to get the results. And I'm on a business mentorship course, and I expect there's probably over 100 people in this course, right? And I guarantee you, only 30 or 40 people are probably taking on that information and doing it.
And actually,
the other 60 people just pay for the course, and they're probably just not even doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Because they don't do it long enough, or they don't do what they say they do, and they don't do it day in, day out. They just expect to put a post up and suddenly have 100 new clients. It ain't gonna happen like that. So Fion's exactly right. Go-to things are your daily activity and your calories, because what we do is we look at your total daily energy expenditure. So you might see the banded around term TDEE, okay? Now, if me and Fion, bit weird I know, we lay in bed together, right? Don't do that very often, only on Sundays.
Very often,
yeah.
or at all. Just at all.
Only on Sundays we lie like this, yeah. Bex goes away on Sundays. And we lay in bed, and the thing is, we're both male, yeah, and we're both about similar height, aren't we? I mean, you're probably about
just a
short.
little bit smaller, yeah.
But in terms of weight, I weigh more than Theon. So what you've got is what's called your BMR, and your BMR is the amount of calories your body burns just from laying there, keeping you breathing, keeping your organs functioning, keeping your brain active, all those kind of things. Now that's dictated by your gender, your age, your weight, your height, all those kind of factors taking a place. Hence why males always, not us, 99% more likely to burn more calories than a female, usually, okay? Now, if you get a female who's a much heavier size and you get a really, really light male, then it's going to flip, right?
Yeah.
So you've got your BMR. Things that change your BMR, building lean muscle, okay? So if you build lean muscle, you will burn more calories throughout the day, but not as many as what people think. So a lot of people think...
It's not a massive...
Yes.
People think it's a massive influx and change in your body, isn't it? It's
yeah.
not... It's you know, people think that these little changes, like the building the lean muscle, makes a massive difference, but actually, you know, you're kind of kidding yourself on, and sometimes you can put yourself in the worst off situation by thinking you can eat, you know, quite a few more 100 calories, but actually it's few and far between, isn't it?
Yeah. I want to be 99% sure it's 6 calories per pound for every pound of muscle you build, right? So if you built 10 pounds of lean muscle, you're only going to burn an extra 60 calories per day, which is nothing. It's like an apple, slightly over an apple. Yeah. So when people go off, I build loads of muscle, then I'll burn loads of calories. Rubbish, right? Building muscle for me is about how you look. It's not about giving yourself that extra calorie burn. It's about looking better. So once you've done your BMR, your next one is what Phil just spoke about, and people call it NEAT. It's just steps, you know. Don't have to get complicated with it.
Non-exercise activity thermogenesis.
You got it.
Thermogenesis.
Yeah. But why would
you wouldn't say that?
That's what I mean.
Just do steps, yeah.
And you get all these coaches and trainers out there going, "Oh, you got to do your non-exercise activity thermogenesis."
Meet up 24/7.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Why don't you just simplify it and just say to people, just walk more and do more housework.
Yeah.
Move more. Yeah. Now, that is the biggest amount of calories you can burn. So the more you walk. For example, how would you get someone's steps up? You know, someone said, for example, they're not getting many steps up. What do you do with your clients in a day to make sure they get their steps in?
It used to be doing little things, like factoring in maybe walk from the car park, which is still good, you know, park further away kind of thing. But I think over the Christmas period and coming into this lockdown, we've kind of learned a lot more about having like a structured routine to your day, so factoring in either the night before or in the morning times that you're going to do it, because it takes about an hour and a half to get the 10,000 steps in, so you kind of have to factor in where you're going to get that hour and a half from. Usually people don't have an hour and a half lunch break, and at the moment it's dark, so you see you're not going to go out in the dark because it's cold, it's wet, it's rainy, or all these things, for example. And in the morning, you know, an hour and a half seems too much, so you kind of got to break it up, 2 45 minutes or 3 half an hours in your day. So I try and get people to, you know, if they're not getting them in, say, look, are you just wearing your watch and expecting to get 10,000, or are you actually planning your day when you're going to get it done? Because I think that makes you more driven to do it, and you're kind of more committed at that point as well.
Couldn't nail on the head. Couldn't expect it more. Like to-do list, daily planner, times you're going to walk, bang, 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 bang. People want to make it easy for themselves, but they don't make it easy for themselves.
No.
You know, say 10,000 steps, but how are you going to get 10,000 steps?
Exactly.
It's like people go on and make £1 million, but they don't. How are you going to make $1 million? Right? I don't understand. I didn't make $1 million because you didn't do anything to make the million. You just sat there and said, "I want to make £1 million." goals are goals, right? Goal is 10,000 steps a day, but if you don't set how you're going to do the 10,000 steps, how can you think you're going to lose weight?
The likelihood of achieving it is minimal.
It baffles me, yeah. Doing a 10-minute or an 10-minute HIIT workout, right, every day, great, thumbs up. You know, you get the endorphins, feeling better from it, but that's not going to get you in great shape.
No.
It's going to help, but what's going to get you in great shape is doing 10 to 15,000 steps per day, guaranteed. So, like Phil said, easy steps, park further away from the shops, okay? Do you need to even drive to town? Could you walk to town? Yeah? Not you, because I mean, you live about 12 hours away. Yeah, in the middle of nowhere, no man's land. But you could, for example, go for a walking date with your friends. At the moment, we're in lockdown, so you have to do that. Rather than sitting down for a coffee, go for a walking coffee.
Yeah.
Could you take phone calls with work on the phone whilst you're walking? Yeah. Could you just walk around your house whilst you're on the phone? I mean, it's not hard.
Most people do anyway, to be fair. When I'm on the phone, I'm back and forth in their living room.
You got that. And also, like you just said, factor in the times of day you're going to do it. And ultimately, you need to either get up early or you need to accept that you're going to have to go for a lunchtime walk or an evening walk. A walk has to be done at some point, right? If you're making a conscious effort to be healthier, happier and in great shape, then you can't not do a daily walk and expect to get in shape. That's just me.
It's pretty much essential, isn't it?
Yeah. So your next one would then be your exercise, right? Which we just talked about, your HIIT session. Now, how would you get someone to do more? So for example, what ways could we increase calorie burn in a session? In a session? Yeah.
So obviously, weight-bearing activities burn less calories, unfortunately. However, for people that are looking to build muscle and stuff, they're kind of ideal. So more activities that kind of get your heart rate up a little bit more and kind of get more of your body moving. So like these HIIT sessions, yeah. But things like in your rest periods, are you actually resting or are you potentially marching on the spot?
Yeah.
Are you doing?
We made that famous.
But yeah, I think we did.
We made that famous. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's famous.
Patent that idea.
Yeah.
Sign that off.
We got a lot of beef from the gym about that. But we made it famous.
To be fair, I didn't even. I forgot about that.
You see, right, so we went to the gym, yeah, and we said, didn't we? We sat down and said, how can we get people's steps up? And you've got people doing like 5,000-6,000 steps in a day, but they need 10,000.
Yeah.
We worked out that every rest period you could do 2 laps round not our gym, obviously the gym we work at. You get like the 2,000 to 3,000 steps in a session.
Yeah.
So that's basically equating to your 10,000 steps in a day.
Yeah.
But in your rest period, most people sit there on their phones or talking to their mate, whereas all of our clients walk around the gym. Might look weird and they might look a little bit mental. However, it's worked massively. It's helped people to achieve great weight loss results and also it's a great habit, and it's about utilising time that would normally be dead time with something that's actually giving you a better benefit. So if you've got a bigger gym, right, for example, or just march on the spot, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Or if your gym won't allow you to walk around, then just do star jumps in between.
You might look silly, but it doesn't really matter. You know, if you're trying to get in good shape, you kind of care about what your end result is, you know, and if that's going to benefit the end result, then in the short term, it might not look good, but in the long run, you're going to get that great result. So, you know, I think if you want it bad enough, you'll do anything at all costs, won't you?
You might look silly, but you'll be in shape.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Exactly.
You'll be silly shape. Yeah. And also, like what Phil said, if I go to the gym and I'm doing like squats like 5x5, and I'm doing 5 sets of 5 reps, and I'm resting for 2 minutes. We spoke about this yesterday, weren't we?
Yeah.
Then you're resting for like 2-3 minutes in between sets. Don't get me wrong, it's got its time and its place. If you want to get strong as anything, then you need to have that rest period.
Yeah.
Cover that on another video. You know, we're purely talking about getting in shape, fat loss. Now, you see so many people in there that clearly want to lose weight and get in shape, yet they're doing a lot of 5x5 work. They're doing a lot of heavy weights, loads of rest periods. That actually isn't the best utilisation of your time. Your time, if you've only got an hour, you want to continually move.
Yeah.
Hence what Phil said. HIIT training at home is great. Keeps you moving the whole time. All of our clients, we do like half an hour sessions, really maximum, and it's continually moving. There's no rest at all.
You don't really stop. You know, when we're explaining the new circuit or new exercise, for example, you know, you move on to a new routine. You know, you tell them to keep marching, don't stop, kind of thing, because the longer you're standing there for, you know, the more time you're wasting, really. Yeah. You want them on there for 40 minutes, 5 minutes at the start, 5 minutes at the end, and a 30-minute session where you're hopefully building up a sweat, and you know, potentially it's hard to get as many steps in at a home workout, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's not as much as in the gym So obviously, you know, we're not in the gym at the moment, but the more activity you can do in between, the better, really.
And then you've got the circuits, 100% circuit. If you're in the gym, you want to be doing, and you need weight, you've got weight to lose, do not mess around with doing, like, I don't know, 5 reps, rest in 2 minutes, do supersets, so exercises back to back.
Yeah.
Keep yourself moving the whole time. I guarantee you'll be far better for fat loss. We're not talking about muscle building, we're talking purely about fat loss, and it'll be far better it will build muscle, you will build muscle, guarantee you it. But you also burn more fat because you'll be burning more calories during the session.
Yeah.
Remember, muscle is built from overload of muscles, progressive overload. If you're lifting more weight, you're doing more reps or more sets, then you will build stronger, leaner muscle, guaranteed, right?
And also with the if you are looking for a more aesthetic look, so for example, you know, more muscular, the more fat you burn and the more fat you lose, the more muscle will be on show. So obviously there's got to be muscle there. So if you're someone who hasn't, you know, doesn't feel too strong or hasn't got muscle, obviously losing that fat and then going for a muscle gaining phase. However, if you're someone who's of a decent size but just wants to lose a little bit, there will be muscle underneath. So
100%.
So you know, that will give you that more muscular look as well. I definitely recommend going on the fat loss phase first, just to see where you can get to in a state of, you know, it doesn't have to be super like lean, you know, all these guys that do the competitions and stuff, but you know, the less fat you have, the more muscle, like I say, is on show. So the more aesthetic, there we go, muscular you will look.
It's like when people say to you they want to get abs, and they're doing ab sit-ups, they're doing crunches, they're doing planks, they're doing like V-sits. We can name a list of ab exercises, right? And we could do sit-ups until you can't bend your body and it aches.
Yeah.
But you've got a layer of fat covering that area. I don't know how obvious it needs to make it.
Yeah.
There is body fat covering that area, right? It's like having a brand new car but having a load of bubble wrap around it, right? You can't get to it. So the whole point is you need to rip off the bubble wrap. So you need to decrease. You need to get the fat off before, and you can't rip fat off, all right? Well, you could have a tummy tuck. You could have, like, you know, you could do that.
That's
However, I don't recommend that. What I recommend is to do your exercises. You can't spot reduce, all right? So for example, what you need to do is do your exercises, and you will lose fat around the abdomen. Now, females, talking of like mum tum, or if you've gained an amount of weight and you've got like dead skin there, completely different scenario, okay? That is when, you know, for example, you may then need to have a tummy tuck, because all the exercise in the world won't make a huge difference there. Because if you've got like loose skin there, because you've lost a lot of weight, or you've had a child, you've got to accept that your abdomen won't be like it was pre-kids, or pre when you were slimmer to bigger to slimmer, all right? You've got to stretch there, just one of those things. So that is when you would have a tummy tuck or something like that if you wanted to go down that route. We're just talking about general exercise, and what we are saying is, if you want to tone, I hate that word, but if you want to
tone, but people can relate to it.
Tone your midsection, then you can't spot reduce. You know, you can't do anything like ab crunches. You need to increase your steps. You need to increase your exercise in the gym by working out longer, by working out harder, and you need to eat less, right? Last but not least, you've got your TEF, which is your thermic effect of food, okay? When you eat food, your body uses some of that food to burn off as energy, all right? Now, this is where the common misconception comes in when people say, oh, if I eat breakfast, it kickstarts my metabolism. Let's make it nice and simple. Breakfast is porridge today, 500 calories. Now, the thermic effect of food is about 10 to maximum 20%. So that means you're only ever going to burn, I can't even work out 20% of 500.
50
to 100. There we go, thank you very much. So you're going to burn 50 to 100 calories for the thermic effect of food. You've still got a surplus of 400 calories. So if I eat the porridge, I've eaten 400 calories after thermic effect of food. Theon hasn't had breakfast. He still has an allowance for the calories. We've both got 2,000 and 2,000. I've had breakfast, which is 500. The thermic effect of food is allowed to burn off 100 calories.
At very most,
yeah. I'm 400 up, he's still at 0.
Yeah.
How the hell can you explain to me then that boosts your metabolism?
Yeah. Or how can you explain that having breakfast then puts you in a better situation? Because I've still got more food to eat throughout the day.
It couldn't explain any better.
However, you could argue in terms of nutrient timing, which is very deep and stuff like that. You know, that's where people are trying to get really into it. But nutrient timing and stuff like feeding your body at the right times for protein. There's never a right time. However, you know, your energy probably would be better throughout the day than mine. And then I'm probably more I'm potentially more susceptible to caving into cravings at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Things that are going to give me a quick fix, so like a chocolate bar or, you know, a cake or something that I grab my hands on. That's for people who are, you know, quite weak-willed. It's a hard one, isn't it?
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
But you have to work out what works for you. But the
there's no right answer.
But the kickstart your metabolism is the wrong answer, right? I'm telling you that now. Now people argue and go, I've got no energy in the morning. I've got no this. I've got no that. Now, I get that, right? I like having breakfast. But I make sure I do a certain amount of steps to allow me to have breakfast. So if you want to have breakfast, do your bloody steps, right? You can't have your cake and eat it. It's like having a hangover. It's like going out boozing and going, I don't know what I've got a hangover for. You booze, you enjoy that night, you accept you're not going to feel great the next day.
Yeah.
So if you have breakfast, you then need to do more steps because you're eating more calories, right? Another analogy, because both of us are right here now, nice and simple, right? People say you gain weight if you eat after 8 p.m. Let me explain this nice and simple. We both got 2,000 calories each to eat, right? I have 500 for breakfast, 1,000 for lunch, and 500 for dinner before 8 p.m. I've had my 2,000 calories, right? Theon doesn't have breakfast, right? You have lunch of 500 calories, and you decide to have a feast of 1,500 calories at 9 p.m. Guess the number. It's still 2,000 calories, and I've still eaten 2,000 calories. I did mine pre 8 o'clock. He did his post 8 o'clock. Your body is still going to burn the energy throughout the day. Because Theon, as long as he's still doing his steps, etc., the same as me, he'd be putting himself in a deficit in the morning, and all he'd then do is just replenishing that energy he's burnt off with the food he's eating. My one, I'm constantly just replenishing the energy I've lost through eating the meals. Nothing's right or wrong. It doesn't matter which way you do it. It's still the same amount of calories. It's like if I gave you £2,000 in English money at 12 midday, or I give you £2,000 of English money at 9 p.m, right? It's still £2,000. Does that not make any sense to me? Like, I'm like baffled sometimes.
It's just because it's so commonly known and so commonly such a massive misconception that people just pass that around and believe it. My mum used to believe it. And I used to tell her it doesn't make a bloody difference.
I like just slap her.
People think.
Hope she's not watching.
If you're watching, Mum, I'm sorry.
But I know what you mean. But I'm not like this isn't one because everyone thinks it. Mate, when I first started training people, I used to think to myself, you can eat as many good calories as you want. Because your body's got used for them. I remember telling clients that when I was like 17 years old. I was like, I went on a PT course and they were like, you can eat as much sweet potato, eggs, avocado as you want.
Well, like your Weight Watchers, like, free foods and that.
Your body's got used for it. Whereas like a Mars bar, your body doesn't know. Well, funny enough, an avocado's got 200 calories in, and a Snickers bar's got 200 calories in. See what I mean? Did you watch the video?
Yeah, I did.
So it's like, they're the same, aren't they?
12 cents,
and it's like, are you on this planet? Like, it makes sense understand. So I hope that covers it for everyone. And I know we've gone around the houses, right? But I wanted to explain it fully, in detail. We should even do a proper, more videos on this, shouldn't we?
Do a few little units.
And it makes it so much more understandable for you. If you understand the science behind it, you will get in shape. Willpower comes into a lot of it, like Theon said. You know, at the end of the day, it's only you doing this to your mouth. And people say it's harder for bigger people to lose weight. I'd argue sometimes, when you get to a level of fitness or shape, it's hard and it's not easy. I think when people go, it's easy for you because you're slim. I think it's rubbish.
It's rubbish to even say harder for a thinner person to lose weight, for example.
Because barely in, jumping in the
Because they if you actually look at it in what we've discussed in terms of TDE and TDEE, it's 2 E's, isn't it? And then the thermic effect of food as well. You know, someone who's heavier has got more mass to move, so therefore they'll burn more calories. And that's right. What about the thermic effect? Would that be higher as well or not?
Which is the thermic effect of food is the same. Because it's just digested. It's your body digests the food. Right. But that comes up to your great point that we answered with a question that we originally answered: why someone can't lose weight. Now, if you are a bigger size, I'm not bothered. Doesn't bother me what size you are. If you're happy being bigger, great, thumbs up. If you're happy being slimmer, again, thumbs up. We don't judge people. When you are bigger, your body burns more calories, okay? Your BMR. If you're 30 stone, you're going to burn a lot more calories than someone who's 12 stone walking around.
Yeah.
If I put another 18 stone on, oh, I'm 14 stone, I think. So if I put 16 stone on me, my leg's going to feel it. I'm going to burn more energy, right? As your weight comes down, it means the same stuff you were doing then, you're not going to burn as many calories. Hence why you plateau. Now, you haven't gone in starvation mode, right? Nothing's going on with your body. It's just you need to up the ante. You either need to ramp the exercise up, ramp the steps up, and decrease the food slightly. Those three. If you say you're in starvation mode, without being too extreme, right? There are people in third world countries who barely eat, and you don't see anyone who's 30 stone in a third world country.
Yeah.
I would be shocked to see that, right? Prove me wrong, yeah? Now, I'm not going to get into too much detail about it because it starts getting a bit all over there. However, just think, third world countries, people are starving. People are literally, dying, basically.
Yeah.
They're as skinny as anything, yeah? They've got serious illnesses. Now, we are not going to go into starvation mode from not eating, because the fact is, if they would have went in starvation mode and they'd still be big, they'd be wondering why they're not losing any weight. It doesn't happen, all right? It's rubbish, it's a myth. Get out of your head. You need to decrease calories, you need to increase your steps, and you need to focus on getting 3 to 4 good sessions in per week. Nice and simple.
Tick the box.
There you go. Anything you want to add?
Probably just get the daily plan would definitely help planning in the day. If you're still working, or you're still going to work, or you're working from home. Obviously, you've probably got your work structure that you've been sent over. I get sent over mine from Luke, or your boss might send you one. But that's your work structure. Have you got anything else factored in there, whether it be time for the kids, time for yourself, time for your exercise steps, time to plan your meals, for example, That's what I would do. That definitely helps me.
And also have a bit of like accountability. Do you know what I mean? Like I got up this morning, there was ice over the barrel. Do I want to get in? I had to literally crack the ice. Okay? Yeah, the barrel behind you, yeah. I had the ice in the barrel. I had to literally crack the ice to get in. Did I want to get in for 5 minutes? No, I didn't. I got in. I feel great for it. Do I always want to do my steps? No. Do I always want to train? No. But you do it and you feel better for it. That's the thing. So sometimes you can't be nicey with it, because the things you've got to do, if you know what you should be doing to get in shape, then you've got to do it. There's knowing what to do and doing it are two different things. Most people that get in shape and get results are the people who actually do what you tell them to do. Even if they don't do it 100%, they do it 50%, they still get in shape. The people that just read, but don't implement, don't get in shape.